So again, Glenn. Thank you.
back down.
Yeah.
That's not exciting.
No, but as I said, nobody else will know. So, so I'm here. So
yeah. Okay. I'll wait until you
come out.
And
then
back in.
Yeah. Well, we go in there. Might as well do it. Then turn.
Yep.
And then that's it. That way.
Okay.
Beautifully.
And you've got to.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'll be finished with it. Pull it out the way. But when
how does it go out the way? You just push it up.
Up. When we're closing very long and standing anyway.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it there. It won't be in my way. So I'll leave it.
It's a bit too close, isn't it?
Well, you know.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, so it swivels.
Tits of
Yeah.
bullet beef or
Plus
something.
you can lift it.
Right.
Can't you? All right.
Thank you very much. I think.
I just let Russell know when the fans are looking at us. I think he's told you the announcement. Pay the piper, mate. No, it's all right. It's all good fun. Russell's almost been doing it as a style. I've been doing it for quite a few years now. Russell's done it. This about his full. He does it for the other for the mark as well. So you might work in for that one. Yeah. In a couple of years' time. I run in 3-year cycles. Can't believe it's 3 years ago since I got this one before. And then there was one in between. And then there's another. So it's future. Last time we were jammed back over there, it was interesting. I thought we had that camera out here right on the corner where that stand is. And we got pushed right at the back in the background. It was hard to get a line of sight so I can see who's coming in and who's not. So this year we decided we'll set up first. So we get better lines. There will be some people walking past here as they take the delegations coming from various lodges overseas and in the state. And then as they present them, and then the delegation will come in.
Get it all in order.
Again, so we're only doing one lot of fanfares for that, so then sit down and that's it.
So we'll stand up on your drum roll.
Yeah.
That's the go.
I just tell them there'll be a little bit extra longer one for the boss.
Oh, for the fanfare.
Yeah, for the boss.
Yeah,
He gets, he gets that little extra one.
Yeah, so I'll put that in. Dignified.
Oh, that's the one, that's the right.
And then jubilant, short. That's the understudies. They don't get the same big one.
They don't pay the piper.
They don't pay the piper.
It's like in the army, mate. The boss gets the best.
Yeah.
Rank and file, the sergeant, and then the bloody down in the swill. Good,
Yeah.
How are you? Very good, thank you. You're doing the... Just the relevant.
There, so I should keep up the regalia.
You're working on the regalia?
I'm not. I'm meant to be holding the
weekend.
for
Toilet break if we want. We might grab a drink. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm meant to be holding the cushion for
That's on the bottom. That's the second one in of the middle sheet. Yes, I got my man.
Yeah, you're giving the address?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Barry. I'm not sure if I'm meant to sneak through there or where. Well, that's
I was told that you were sitting here.
Alright, as long as he didn't spit it onto me.
Peter will come and check with us in a minute, make sure we're on. Now,
Yeah, there's Barry. I may just go ask him just to make sure we're right.
yeah. Now, when you come back, I'll tell you about the microphone.
Okay.
Undignified accounts, too far away.
Okay? Next to you.
Yes, I'm the good looking one.
Yes, of course. I was expecting to see you and that. So you going to tell me about the microphone?
Yeah, what we do, did he say whether he wants you to do it?
Roughly, I'm assuming, near that wall over there.
I know where you've got to go in directly, but before you do it, I'll get that microphone hand in front of that.
Okay. The grand secretary.
No, but for you to move the microphone
And then speak, yeah.
speak is not a good look.
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
For me to move the microphone,
Bright light. Well, I don't actually ever like sneeze because I have like a really loud sneeze. And then when I was at school, people used to tease me. I had an ex-boyfriend that used to like make fun of me like that. So I do this. I go.
So do I. I block my nose, it comes out my ears.
Me too.
Which is really bad because I read a story the other day about how someone blew out her throat.
Because like by not trying to close their eyes or something.
No, she blew out her throat. She's the same thing I don't hold their nose.
Oh, I don't hold my nose. I just go.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, now I think your cue to do. I think these are on it. Your cue to.
You'd be closer to me. Well, I know it off by heart. It's just a matter of making sure. See, I've got an issue with learning the third degree charge at the same time, and my issue is listening to the third degree charge, but I went do it the other way around.
huh? The nature of our constitution, that's yours, isn't it?
That's it. By the nature of my constitution.
Don't worry about it.
I know, I'm overthinking.
Don't forget the lady turning the red.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's yours. I had some breakfast in my room, went for a walk down, run a walk, came back and spent the rest of the morning on my bed. I was feeling so knackered.
Oh, really?
And had a bit of a rest. And
We're still going to get a line
I'm starting to feel
to shine up. There's a line here when they
I'm on the downward trend. Yes.
I'm used to it.
That is easy to know. Your birthday's not a big one.
Yeah. Like getting my life back.
Only temporarily.
Like, there's a, you can't do it, can I?
No, I'm not going to just know the way I'm back because once my wife was allowed to go to the event, so it's just down for the seats. So yeah,
Absolutely high priority.
well, the whole thing will be released as well.
Two most important words in America.
I've got a problem with that. We might get some nice water in it though.
Except on one of those. Don't say it there.
Unless that's what they want. Some girls think they've got two small bubbles. That should be yes. Yeah, I would like to get to that, but yeah.
The meal's usually nice, the speeches get a bit OTT. Minutes. And then
doing as much as now I focus on my work. But once upon a time, I was a few bands, 20 minutes tonight. Yeah.
Exciting as well. I couldn't find it. I'm sure it's on days. It's the worst place I've ever Yeah, so we're that one from out distant past. We're not playing back up region. We've got the third and field versions of our distant past, so we've got plenty of time.
Back in the day, it used to be great to watch these.
This is so this lodge hall is this. So this is like a grand lodge. So this is the top lodge. They wear this gold nose up. They'll have the same games today. It's a nice, it's not a bad place to play.
I've been to cities that never close down, from New York to Rio and old London town. But no matter how far or how wide I roam, I still call Australia home. I'm always traveling, I love being free, and so I keep leaving the sun and the sea. But my heart lies waiting over the phone. I still call Australia home. All the sons and daughters spinning round the world, away from their family and friends. But as the world gets older and colder, it's good to know where your journey ends. But someday we'll all be together once more, when all of the ships come back to the shore. I realize something I've always known. I still call Australia home. I've been to cities that never close down, from New York to Rio and old London town. But no matter how far or how wide I roam, I still call Australia. I still call Australia. I still call Australia home.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, as we are about to commence this afternoon's proceedings, I ask that you take your places in readiness for the grand installation ceremony. Will you please now ensure that your mobile phone is turned to silent or switched off, and make a mental note of your nearest exit in the unlikely event we need to evacuate the building. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, on behalf of the Most Worshipful Brother Stephen Eugene Paul Michaelak, Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Freemasons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and Right Worshipful Brother Neil Jensen, Grand Master-elect, welcome to this grand installation ceremony. Most Worshipful Brother Michaelak has had the responsibility of leading this Grand Lodge for the last 3 years, and today will install his successor in a ceremony that dates back to the 1750s, when the chairing of a master was first practiced. Initially, Right Worshipful Brother Jensen will not be present. He will only be called on when all is in place for his installation. Once installed, he will invest the Grand Lodge officers who will assist him in the ceremonial and administrative work of Grand Lodge. You will be able to follow the ceremony in the booklet provided, and we ask that you join in the singing of the odes, for which you'll be asked to stand. By way of explanation, our brethren come from many religions and faiths, each with their own name for their supreme being. In Freemasonry, we use the term Great Architect of the Universe, a term you will hear throughout the ceremony. Very Worshipful Brother Peter Chris, the Grand Director of Ceremonies, will now proceed with the grand installation ceremony. Thank you, ladies, gentlemen and brethren.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, for the entry of Most Worshipful Brother Stephen Eugene Paul Michaelak, Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, please be upstanding.
Distant past, the
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please remain standing for the Song of Australia. Most Worshipful Grand Master, on behalf of your guests and your brethren, I acknowledge your presence and your rank as the leader of our fraternity. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated and remain so during the ceremony of calling on.
Right Worshipful Grand Wardens, please be upstanding. Right Worshipful Brother Junior Grand Warden, what time is it?
Past high time, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Your duty?
To call the brethren from refreshment to labour.
I will thank you to declare it.
Brethren, it is the Most Worshipful Grand Master's command that you cease labour and return to Brethren, it is the Most Worshipful Grand Master's command that you cease refreshment and return to labour, that profit and pleasure may be the result.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding for the ode, God is our strength and refuge.
God is our strength and refuge, our present help in trouble, and we therefore will not fear, though the earth should change, though mountains shake and tremble, through swirling floods are raging, God the Lord of hosts is with us evermore. This is so very river, we
gentlemen and brethren, please be seated.
Very worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies. This Grand Lodge is now ready to receive our distinguished visitors.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is the Grand Lodge of Master Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and on my left, the Supreme Grand Chapter of Royal Arch Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother David Kitching, the Most Worshipful Grand Master of Mark Master Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother Nicholas Ludwig Vysotsky, Deputy Grand Master. Right Worshipful Brother William Allen Penley, Senior Grand Warden, and Right Worshipful Brother Leslie John Pilton, Junior Grand Warden, and quite a retinue of Grand Mark officers and brethren.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, it's wonderful to have you. Thank you very much for being with us this afternoon. Thank you.
Forward to proceedings this afternoon.
So do I. So am I. Please take a seat.
Not a part of our structure. So for us to recognise the other orders, we would be out of amity with the other Grand Lodges in Australia and around the world. But all of those Grand Lodges acknowledge...
It's not me, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
Deputy Grand Master and past Grand Masters with Mark.
Yeah, that's right. Nor the Buffaloes, they don't acknowledge them, I don't think.
Well, you were supposed to be given seats. Go on over there. Over there. Wait till your mate gets up here. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Excellent Companion, Lindsay Grant Burns, First Grand Principal of the Supreme Grand Chapter of Royal Archmasons of South Australia and the Northern Territory. Also with him, Right Worshipful Brother Ivor Edwin Wilmot, Deputy First Grand Principal. Most Excellent Companion Ronald William Both, Second Grand Principal, and Most Excellent Companion Peter Ronald Rob Johns, Third Grand Principal, and a retinue of Grand Chapter officers and companions.
Most excellent First Grand Principal, it's wonderful to have you in our company. Thank you for bringing such a wonderful retinue. Please take a seat. Thank you. Way to go. Right.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is the Grand Lodge of Denmark of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons, and on my left, the representative of the Grand Lodge of Scotland.
Keep going. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I have pleasure in presenting Most Worshipful Brother Peter Larsen, the Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of Denmark, the past Grand Master, Most Worshipful Brother Oscar Leasing, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers and a brother. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I have pleasure in presenting Most Right Worshipful Brother Robert Gilchrist Law, the immediate past District Grand Master of Central Africa, representing the Grand Lodge of Scotland. Okay, you know where you're sitting? Good question. Over there. Yep.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is the United Grand Lodge of Queensland, and on my left, the Grand Lodge of Western Australia.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother Alan Townsend, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of Queensland, Right Worshipful Brother Paul Holland, Deputy Grand Master, and Right Worshipful Brother Christopher Leonard Pike, Assistant Grand Master, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers and brethren. Do you remember where your seat was? Over there, down the end. Good briefing. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother William Gordon Babe, the Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Western Australia. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother Peter Kerwin, Deputy Grand Master, several past Grand Masters, and Grand Lodge officers and brethren. Thank you, brethren. Find your seats. Yeah, mate. Buckets of things.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is the Grand Lodge of Tasmania, and on my left, the Grand Lodge of New Zealand. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you the Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Tasmania,
Most Worshipful Brother John William Slaw. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother Philip Oddy, Deputy Grand Master, past Grand Master, and several Grand Lodge officers and brethren. Most Worshipful Grand Master, it is my pleasure to present to you Most Worshipful Brother Mark Roland Winger, Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of New Zealand. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother Graham James Wigley, Deputy Grand Master, a past Grand Master, and Grand Lodge officers and brethren.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, now entering this Grand Lodge on my right is the United Grand Lodge of Victoria, and on my left, the United Grand Lodge of New South Wales and the Australian Capital Territory. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother Keith Murray, the Most Worshipful Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of Victoria. He is accompanied by Right Worshipful Brother
Richard Elkington, Deputy Grand Master, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers, which includes another past Grand Master. Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Most Worshipful Brother James Robert Melville, the Most Worshipful Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of New South Wales and the Australian Capital Territory, and a retinue of Grand Lodge officers and brethren. Somebody pinched a seat. You just want to go for a walk. Off you go. Most worshipful, very worshipful leaders of various delegations, we acknowledge your presence and your rank and welcome you to this, the grand installation of the Grand Lodge of South Australia and the Northern Territory. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, I invite you to welcome our visiting delegations and their leaders with acclamation. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, will you please rise to receive the Australian flag.
That's the national anthem.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please remain standing for the national anthem. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, you are in good voice. Please be seated.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, our Grand Master for the ensuing year has been elected in the person of Right Worshipful Brother Neil Jensen, and we are assembled upon the present occasion for the ceremony of his installation. Very Worshipful Brother, Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will announce to the Grand Master-elect that this Grand Lodge is open and we are waiting to receive him. I'm first, you're second. G'day, Neil.
God be in my head and in my understanding. God be in mine eyes and in my looking. God be in my mouth and in my speaking.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, the Right Worshipful Grand Master-elect is ready and waiting to be received when it is your pleasure to receive him.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will cause him to be escorted within the portals of this Grand Lodge and conducted to the west for the purpose of presentation.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you for installation Right Worshipful Brother Neil Jensen to be installed as the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia for the ensuing year.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, your presentation shall be attended to. Brethren of this Grand Lodge, I congratulate you on the election of our Grand Master, as it will be his duty to command according to our statutes, so it will be ours with readiness to obey. The cares of his exalted station are manifold. The obligations, therefore, are numerous and exceedingly weighty, and its perplexities are not few. That these may be well sustained and his administration be such as will honour himself and be of value to the craft in South Australia and the Northern Territory, he needs, and surely he will receive, your affection, sympathy and active cooperation in all his lawful official endeavours. Right Worshipful Brother Jensen, the exalted station to which you have been called by the free choice of your brethren involves great and solemn responsibilities. It will elevate you to a position from which the power and prerogative may depart with the expiration of your term of office, but the honour and dignity, saved by your own act, never. You are now, in the presence of all here assembled, presented for installation into the chair of this Grand Lodge, that you may be competent to enter upon the functions entrusted to you. As we stand upon the threshold of a solemn undertaking, the teachings inculcated at our reception into Freemasonry require that we should bend in prayer to the Grand Master above and seek his blessing upon these, our proceedings.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding.
Almighty Architect of the universe, Searcher and Ruler of all worlds, deign from thy celestial abode, from realms of light and glory, to bless us in all the purposes of our present assembly. We humbly invoke thee to give us wisdom in all our doings, strength of mind under all our difficulties, and the beauty of love and harmony in all our communications. Be pleased to vouchsafe to this thy servant, now called to this high office in our brotherhood, thy heavenly blessing. May he prove a true and faithful guardian of the principles, privileges and usages of the order, and through thy favour be strengthened in the discharge of those duties to the honour and glory of thy holy name.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please remain standing.
Very worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will conduct our brother to the volume of the sacred law to take upon himself the obligations appertaining to the duties of his high office.
By the left. Slowly, slowly, slowly.
I, Neil Jensen, in the presence of Almighty God and in the body of this Grand Lodge, do solemnly promise and swear that I will fill the duties of Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of South Australia and the Northern Territory faithfully, zealously and impartially during the ensuing year, and until a successor shall have been duly elected and installed in my stead. I further solemnly promise that I will conform to and maintain the constitution and regulations of this Grand Lodge, the usages and customs of free and accepted Masons, and at all times insist on strict obedience thereto. So help me God.
That which is gone out of thy lips thou shalt keep and perform according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God.
Rise, duly obligated, most worshipful Grand Master.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated.
Most worshipful Grand Master, it now remains for me to clothe you and invest you with the external insignia of your rank and authority. I clothe you with this apron, the badge of a Grand Master. I invest you with the chain of your office, to which has been appended a jewel, whose symbolic meaning will now have for you a new and striking significance. I entrust you with the W.B. Allen Jewel, which is worn by the Grand Master on all official occasions. I now surrender in your favour the seat of authority and place you therein as ruler of this Grand Lodge. And may God Almighty be with you and endue you with wisdom, strength, and understanding. I now present you with the gavel, the potent emblem of Masonic authority, and this which I do on their behalf, the brethren pledge you their assurance that in your hands it will never be sounded in vain. I now render unto you this first act of homage due to you as our Grand Master. I now hail, salute, and proclaim you Grand Master of Masons within the jurisdiction of South Australia and the Northern Territory. Brethren, behold your Grand Master. Grand Master, behold your brethren.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. All brethren will rise for the proclamation. Brethren, be it known to you and all free and accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory that Most Worshipful Brother Neil Jensen has been regularly installed as Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, whom the great architect of the universe may long preserve. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the ode, Lord our Grand Master bless. be seated.
Thank you.
The Most Worshipful Installing Grand Master will now address the Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, on behalf of all your brethren assembled here, as well as myself, I extend to you our fraternal congratulations and loyalty on the attainment of the high honour of your exalted rank. And I'm certain that our distinguished visitors here add their congratulations and best wishes. The office of Grand Master is one of great antiquity and honour, and it is no light thing to be endowed with the chief command of our ancient and honourable institution, which stands deep-rooted in the past, with its branches extending to every quarter of the inhabited globe. Grand Master, you cannot therefore be insensible to the obligations which devolve on you as its head, nor to your responsibility for the faithful discharge of the duties annexed to the position. The reputation, honour, and usefulness of our ancient and honourable institution will materially depend upon the skill and assiduity with which you govern its affairs, while the happiness of its members will be generally promoted in proportion to the zeal and ability with which you promulgate its principles and tenets. As a pattern for imitation, consider that glorious luminary of nature, the sun, which, rising in the east, regularly diffuses light and lustre on all within its circle. In like manner, Most Worshipful Grand Master, it is your peculiar province to communicate light and instruction to your brethren. Forcibly impress upon them the dignity and high importance of Freemasonry. Seriously admonish them never to disgrace it. Charge them to practice in our community, by example and precept, the principles and tenets they have been taught within, and by virtuous, amiable, and discreet conduct, prove to the world the happy and beneficial effects of our ancient and honourable institution. Then, when anyone is said to be a member of our order, the world will know that he is one to whom the burdened heart may pour forth its sorrows, to whom the distressed may prefer their suit, one whose hand is guided by justice and whose heart is expanded by benevolence. In fine, Most Worshipful Grand Master, by a strict adherence to the landmarks and constitution of our order, but above all, by use of the sacred writings which are given as a rule and guide of your faith, you will be enabled to gain a crown of joy and rejoicing which shall continue when time with you shall be no more. And may God grant you his choicest gifts of wisdom, health, happiness and strength to discharge the duties of your high office with satisfaction to yourself and benefit to Freemasons in South Australia and the Northern Territory. And when the time shall come, as come it must, for you to cease labour and go to rest. May you continue to remain sovereign in the hearts and minds of your brethren.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding for the ode, Guide me, O thou great Jehovah. We have two more verses. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated.
Most worshipful brethren, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen and brethren, on behalf of all members of the South Australian and Northern Territory Constitution, I thank my predecessor, Most Worshipful Brother Michaelak and Mrs. Michaelak for their contribution to Freemasonry in general and to this Constitution in particular over the past 3 years. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in acclamation. The aim of this new team is to raise the standing of Freemasonry in South Australia and the Northern Territory. This is the identical aim of our first Grand Master when we, for the first time in Australia, on the 16th of April 1884, united ourselves into a single constitution. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, on behalf of the incoming team, I pledge to you that we will work hard to achieve just that and raise the standing of Freemasonry in our state and the Northern Territory. This team has a broad cross-section of skills and ages and is representative of all geographical areas of our vast constitution. We respect and are committed to honouring the traditions of the past, but will ensure that the services we provide remain relevant and contemporary to the needs of today's society, and thus leading us into the next phase of our continuing important contribution at societal, community and individual level. Our organisation will be modernised and our members more enlightened. We will communicate in a wide, open and transparent way consistent with the expectations of our time. We will enhance the environment in which we work. We will raise the standing of Freemasonry. We will broaden our philanthropic activity. We accept the Oxford Concise Dictionary's definition of philanthropy, and I quote, love, practical benevolence to all mankind. A core function is the funding of the Freemasons Foundation and Centre for Men's Health, of which I am a proud patron. However, whilst recognising this as a core activity, we also contemplate a broader view. We live in a society with many and varied needs, beyond the ability of governments to address. We will therefore encourage Freemasons in all districts to identify these unmet needs. Our Deputy Grand Master has been tasked with the portfolio of philanthropy. He will ensure that we address such needs within our resources. However, we cannot and must not ever forget love, the simple act of great courtesy to our fellow human beings. We will encourage all Freemasons to raise the standing of Freemasonry by their individual and collective good deeds and actions. It is by the latter that we will be recognised as Freemasons, that group of men to whom the burdened heart may pour forth their sorrow, the distressed may prefer their suit, and whose hands are guided by justice. Whilst in Melbourne recently, I was asked on several occasions, what is Freemasonry? Once by a waiter in a South Bank restaurant, once whilst chatting to a complete stranger in the street, and once in my lift in the Crown Towers Hotel. To all of these young men, I replied simply that it is one of the oldest philanthropic organisations in the world, quietly doing good deeds for all around us. We all have the desire to do just that, and Freemasonry encourages in us the ability to help the less fortunate by strengthening our own character and resolve. It is written, and I quote, "The snowflake is one of God's fragile creations. But look what the snowflakes can do when they stick together. Likewise, by working together, we can raise the standing of Freemasonry." Brethren, we must remember the words of President Dwight Eisenhower, who once said, and I quote, "Neither a wise man nor a brave man lies down on the tracks of history to wait for the train of the future to run over him." Let us grasp this opportunity and raise the standing of Freemasonry by working together. This is our time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today to share the start of our further journey of self-discovery, through Freemasonry, and may God bless you all. Pursuant to the power vested in me, I appoint Right Worshipful Brother Anuth Subramaniam Narayan to hold the office of Deputy Grand Master for the ensuing year and until a successor has been appointed in his stead. Very Worshipful Brother, Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will present the Deputy Grand Master for installation.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you for installation Right Worshipful Brother Anuth Subramaniam Narayan as Deputy Grand Master.
Very Worshipful Brother, Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will conduct our brother to the volume of the sacred law to take upon himself the obligation appertaining to the duties of his office.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding.
I, Ananth Subramaniam Narayan, in the presence of Almighty God and in the body of this Grand Lodge, agree to accept the office of Deputy Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and pledge myself to discharge faithfully, zealously and impartially the duties of that office for the ensuing year, and until such time as a successor shall have been duly appointed and invested in my stead. So help me God.
Perform according as thou hast vowed unto the Lord thy God.
Rise, duly obligated Deputy Grand Master.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated.
Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, you have been an attentive observer of the ceremony of installation of the Grand Master. For you are aware that in the case of his incapacity to act, you succeed to the duties and prerogatives thereof, as you do when acting in his stead, at all times when such is delegated to you. Your office is one of great dignity and importance, and it's for these considerations that you've been appointed Deputy Grand Master. I now clothe you with this apron, the badge of the Deputy Grand Master. Right. I invest you with the chain and jewel of your office. And I entrust you with this collarette jewel, which is to be worn on all official occasions by the Deputy Grand Master. Got it.
Just got it.
Need bigger chains for lawyers. I now place these gauntlets on your wrists.
Okay, stewards, go. Okay. Wait for me.
I proclaim you Deputy Grand Master and place you in your chair at the right of the Grand Master. Pursuant to the power vested in me, I appoint Robert Edward Klein, OAM, to hold the office of Assistant Grand Master during the ensuing year. Very worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will present the Assistant Grand Master for installation.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Right Worshipful Brother Robert Edward Klein for installation as Assistant Grand Master.
Very worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will conduct our brother to the volume of the sacred law, to take upon himself the obligation appertaining to the duties of his office.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding.
I, Robert Edward Klein, in the presence of Almighty God and before this Grand Lodge, do agree to accept the office of Assistant Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient, Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, and pledge myself to discharge the duties faithfully, zealously and impartially for the ensuing 12 months. So help me God.
That which is gone out of thy lips thou shalt keep and perform according as thou hast vowed unto thy Lord thy God.
Rise, duly obligated Assistant Grand Master.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated.
Right Worshipful Assistant Grand Master, in the absence of the Grand Master and the Deputy Grand Master, you would succeed to their prerogatives and duties. It would be your responsibility to act in their stead. Your office is therefore one of great importance. But I feel sure that you have the qualifications to discharge the duties of that office with distinction. I now clothe you. Thank you. With this apron, the badge of the Assistant Grand Master. I invest you with the chain and jewel of your office. Place these gauntlets on your wrist. Are you comfortable? Excuse me, honey. I now proclaim you Assistant Grand Master and place you in your chair at the right of the Deputy Grand Master.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. Brethren, you'll be upstanding for the proclamation. Brethren, be it known to you and all free and accepted Masons that Right Worshipful Brother Ananth Subramanian Narayan has been regularly installed as Deputy Grand Master and Right Worshipful Brother Robert Edward Klein as Assistant Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons of South Australia and the Northern Territory, whom the great architect of the universe may long preserve. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the ode. Father of love and might. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated.
Pursuant to the power in me vested, I appoint Worshipful Brother Malcolm Leonard Schluter and Worshipful Brother Gary Arthur LaRosinal to be Senior Grand Warden and Junior Grand Warden, respectively, during the ensuing year. Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will present the Grand Wardens for investiture.
Most Worshipful Grand Master, I present to you Right Worshipful Brother Malcolm Leonard Schluter and Right Worshipful Brother Gary Arthur LaRossignol to be invested as Grand Wardens of this Grand Lodge.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you'll present the Grand Wardens for investiture. Very Worshipful Brother Grand Wardens, you've been appointed to positions of great importance to assist in the maintenance of order and to assist the Grand Master with counsel and support, are great and responsible positions. When added to this is your task of diligently preserving the ancient landmarks of the order, your trust becomes a matter of total confidence for the welfare of the craft. Right Worshipful Brother Schluter, as Senior Grand Warden, you represent Yarkon. And I now, with pleasure, invest you, clothe you with this apron after hanging it on your neck so you can carry it. You got it? And I invest you the chain and jewel of your office. I place this gauntlet on your wrist. Well, I could do that up. Comfortable? Right Worshipful Brother Rosenal, as Junior Grand Warden, you represent Boaz. And I now, with pleasure, clothe you with this apron, the badge of the Junior Grand Warden. Deep breath. I invest you the chain and jewel of your office. Take this gauntlet on your wrist. Do the zip up when you can. And I thank you for accepting the responsibility of raising the standing of Freemasonry with myself, the Deputy Grand Master and the Assistant Grand Master and the remainder of the team. Good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated. All brethren below the rank of Past Assistant Grand Master will stand for the proclamation. Brethren, I now proclaim Right Worshipful Brother Malcolm Leonard Schluter and Right Worshipful Brother Gary Arthur La Rossignol have been duly invested as Grand Wardens of the Grand Lodge of Ancient Free and Accepted Masons, South Australia and the Northern Territory for the ensuing year. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the ode. Which I do. Ladies, gentlemen, brethren, I've jumped the gun. Please have another rest and be seated.
Very worshipful Brother Grand Secretary, you'll read the names of the brethren who have been appointed to Grand Lodge offices.
Certainly, Most Worshipful Grand Master. To be Grand Chaplain, Very Worshipful Brother Brenton Darby, Grand Master's Order of Service, Medal of the Order of Australia. Very Worshipful Brother L. Moody to be the President of the Board of Management. Chairman of the Freemasons Foundation, Brother A. Lathian. Chairman of the Masonic Homes, Very Worshipful Brother M. Butcher. Grand Treasurer, Brother B. Gay. Grand Registrar, Very Worshipful Brother K. Regano. Grand Secretary, Very Worshipful Brother M. Olive. The Grand Superintendent, Very Worshipful Brother M. Stankovic. Chairman of Membership, Very Worshipful Brother J. Woolsencroft. Director of Community Relations, Very Worshipful Brother G. Pusey. Director of Masonic Learning, Very Worshipful Brother M.G. Truman, Australian Police Medal. Grand Director of Ceremonies, Very Worshipful Brother R. Mack. Grand Superintendent of Works, Very Worshipful Brother I. Mackenzie. To be Chairman of Care, Very Worshipful Brother T.K.M. Halford. To be Deputy Grand Treasurer, Brother N.H. Handley. To be Acting Deputy Grand Registrar, Brother S. Dasson. To be Director of Masonic Learning, Worshipful Brother Deputy Director of Masonic Learning, Worshipful Brother T. Savitt. To be Deputy Grand Director of Ceremonies, Worshipful Brother E. Talmott. To be District Grand Superintendents, Western, Very Worshipful Brother T. Armstrong. South East, Very Worshipful Brother S. Mayer. Southern, Very Worshipful Brother R. Beer. York Northern, Very Worshipful Brother G. Spafford. Mid-North Riverland, Very Worshipful Brother A. Williams. Northern Territory Top End, Very Worshipful Brother P.J. Matthews. Northern Territory Central, Very Worshipful Brother E. Neal. Metropolitan 1, Very Worshipful Brother R. Edwards. Metropolitan 2, Very Worshipful Brother J. Durack. Metropolitan 3, Very Worshipful Brother P. Holland. Metropolitan 4, Very Worshipful Brother G. Williams, Meritorious Service Award. Metropolitan 5, Very Worshipful Brother B. Thomas. And Daytime Lodges, Very Worshipful Brother G. Andrews. To be Assistant Grand Register, Brother R. L. H. Davis. To be Assistant Grand Secretary, Very Worshipful Brother Brother R. Num. To be Assistant Grand Directors of Ceremonies, Very Worshipful Brother D. Jones and Very Worshipful Brother B. K. Lorraine. To be Grand Librarian, Worshipful Brother P. Suter. To be Senior Deacons, Worshipful Brother D. Stroud, Worshipful Brother D. Hemsworth and Worshipful Brother J. Disseldorf. To be Junior Grand Deacons, Worshipful Brother G. Hunt, Worshipful Brother P. E. Walker and Worshipful Brother J. Mosley. To be Grand Sword Bearers, Worshipful Brother A. Powell and Worshipful Brother P. O'Dare, and to be Grand Sword Bearer of the Northern Territory, Worshipful Brother W. O'Flaherty. To be Grand Standard Bearers, Worshipful Brother D. Raymond, Worshipful Brother D. Stokes, and Grand Store Bearer Northern Territory, Worshipful Brother C.G. Fagan. Grand Director of Music, Brother C. Allen. Grand Pursuivant, Worshipful Brother C. Struck. Grand Pursuivant, Worshipful Brother T. Newell, and Grand Tyler, Worshipful Brother B. Bamford.
Very Worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will present the brethren that have just been named for investiture.
The brethren to be invested as officers will assemble in the east. Right.
That's not. Now we take Berlin. Well done.
Ladies, gentlemen, I think that deserves an acclamation.
Ready to go. My brethren, I congratulate you on being officers of Grand Lodge. I thank you for taking on this added responsibility, the challenge of helping us to raise the standing of Freemasonry in South Australia and the Northern Territory. I really look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you. Very worshipful Brother Grand Secretary, you'll read the names of those worshipful brethren who have been appointed as Grand Stewards.
I certainly will, with pleasure. Very worshipful Brother Bruce G. Knott, Lodge Baden Power, number 222. Worshipful Brother Alan Kingsley, Catherine Lodge of Fidelity, number 217. Worshipful Brother David Tollner, Darwin Lodge of Remembrance, number 182. Worshipful Brother John Varco, Earl of Zetland Lodge, number 231. Worshipful Brother Jacques Abyss, the Regency Lodge, number 233. Worshipful Brother Gary Moat, Lake Bonnie Lodge, number 106. Worshipful Brother James Greenfield, Lodge Thespian, number 195. Worshipful Brother Michael Coley, Enfield Lodge, number 145. Worshipful Brother Stephen W. Ralph, Lodge Culpinia, number 241, and Worshipful Brother Andrew Lockyer, Hyde Park Bankers Lodge, number 193.
Very worshipful Brother Grand Director of Ceremonies, you will present the worshipful brethren who have been appointed as Grand Stewards for investiture.
brethren who have been so named will assemble in the east.
Worshipful Brother Stewards, congratulations on taking this first step in the Grand Lodge team. I recall being where you are, and I must admit, thoroughly enjoyed it. I hope you do the same. I look forward to working with each and every one of you as we go around and talk to our brethren and raise the standing of Freemasonry. You are most relevant because it is you that everyone meets first before any of us. Thank you very much.
And again, ladies and gentlemen, Acclamation for the pipers. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, this time, please be upstanding for the ode, Brethren of the Mystic Tie.
Brethren of the mystic tie, kindly hand and watchful eye, let us now our voices raise, bring us on cheerful praise, to the free and kind, pure in heart and rich in mind.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated. Brother Mark Pillar, Master Mason, will now address the gathering.
Ladies, gentlemen, and brethren, by the nature of the constitution of Freemasonry, some must rule and teach, and others learn to serve. Humility by all is an essential qualification. Those assisting the Grand Master in governing the activities and lodges in South Australia and in Northern Territory are all acquainted to the principles of Freemasonry and the laws of the institution. Consequently, it is considered that they should not be found wanting in the discharge of their respective duties, nor that they would exceed the power entrusted to them. And I'm sure that we would not be envious of their position. I therefore trust that we should have three specific aims clearly in mind. First, to please each other. Second, to unite in the grand design of being happy and communicating happiness. And third, as this association has for centuries been formed and perfected in a climate of harmony and concord, long may it continue. May brotherly love and affection ever distinguish us as men and as Freemasons. May the principles of this institution, which were founded on the basis of established truths and virtues, teach us to act uprightly, to square our conduct by the principles of morality, and to guide our thoughts in the compass of propriety. Thus, we learn to be humble and dutiful, to be steadfast in our faithfulness to God, our country, and our laws, to be sympathetic to the failings of a brother, and active in consoling the afflicted and appeasing the wants of those in unfortunate circumstances. May these principles be transmitted untarnished through this and all succeeding generations.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, you'll be upstanding for the Royal Anthem. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be seated. Most Worshipful Grand Master will now address Worshipful Masters of the lodges of this jurisdiction. Would all Worshipful Masters of this jurisdiction please rise?
Would all Freemasons in the auditorium, except those in Grand Lodge and on the floor of the lodge, please rise? I'd like to address this to all of my fellow Freemasons. Our job is clear. Let us join together and raise the standing of Freemasonry. Let us lift it back to its preeminent position in society. Let us show the world what it means to be a Freemason. Let us look to our communities for their unmet needs. Let us never forget that love of our fellow human beings should characterise all of our social interaction. Remember the 3 pillars of progress about which I have so often spoken to you: respect, companionship, and relevance. The future of Freemasonry lies in your hands as lodges and as individuals. Please be guided by the words of Norman Vincent Peale, that American author of books popularising the concept of positive thinking. Change your thoughts and you change the world. I will support you in all your laudable undertakings and look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Worshipful Masters and Brethren, please be seated. Most Worshipful Brother David Fewster, the representative of the United Grand Lodge of England, will now convey greetings on behalf of all sister jurisdictions. Will all representatives of sister jurisdictions please rise?
Most Worshipful Grand Master, it is my privilege on behalf of all representatives of lodges of overseas to offer you initially congratulations on being installed as the Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Freemasons of South Australia and the Northern Territory. But in doing that, I wish to extend congratulations to your immediate past Grand Master, Most Worshipful Brother Stephen Eugene Paul Michalek, in a very dignified, very, very greatly rehearsed and full of strength and commitment, the installation ceremony of a new Grand Master. And initially, we should think of saying thank you to the Earl of Chester Lodge, who in 1987 accepted you as an affiliating past master from the Queensland Constitution and then elected you as Master-elect of that lodge in 1988. It is to them that you gave the connection to the South Australian Constitution. We thank them. This ceremony today has been a very dignified and very, very mind-opening ceremony. We have been delighted with the choral renditions. We've been delighted with the music of our grand organist. We have been delighted with the brass players and their particular efforts. But a big, big thank you to the dear ladies who sang for us today with such tender voices. We appreciate it. And then to the Scottish contingent, it was a very, very rich day of mind-opening concepts, and Grandmaster, we thank you for this opportunity of a well-thought-out grand installation ceremony. We wish you well in the coming days of your Grand Mastership, and may you have health and strength, and we know that your wife Norma will be your great strength in assisting you to enjoy the company of other partners of the members of our Constitution. Today is a memorable day. Grand Master, best wishes to you.
Most worshipful Brother Fewster, most worshipful brethren and other fellow representatives, thank you very much for a heartfelt speech. It has been my pleasure, and on behalf of our Constitution, our pleasure, to have you all here today representing your various constitutions. And we thank you, and we look forward to the next opportunity that we will have to meet again. Thank you.
All representatives, please be seated. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, during the ceremony of closing this Grand Lodge, please remain seated.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, before seeking the closure of this meeting and performing that closure, I would like to thank the choristers and the pipers for, and our grand organist and his accompanist for making this such a wonderful ceremony. Music is one of the actual arts and sciences of our great organisation, and we hope through our new Grand Director of Music that we can reinstitute a multitude of music to enhance our ceremonies. And I thank you, Brother Organist, for your input into ensuring that that initiative has been taken. Thank you, and thank you. Very worshipful Brother Grand Secretary, is there any further business before this Grand Lodge?
Master, I have three particular apologies for you. They are from Most Worshipful Brother Stone, Most Worshipful Brother Bodenhagen, and Most Worshipful Brother Bowes. And there have been a number of brethren who have apologised for either Wednesday night or today. Most Worshipful Grand Master, as my wife has told me that this has to be for the last time, I inform you that there is no further business.
I thank you. There being no further business, I shall proceed to close this Grand Lodge in ample form. Right, worshipful Brother Wardens, please be upstanding. Worshipful Brother Pursuivant. Where is your position in Grand Lodge?
Within the inner porch of the Grand Lodge, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
What is your duty?
To give due warning of approaching brethren, see that they are properly clothed and ranged under their respective banners.
Do you find them so placed?
To the best of my knowledge, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Where is the situation of the Right Worshipful Junior Grand Warden?
In the south, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Right Worshipful Junior Grand Warden, whom do you represent?
Boaz, the Prince of the People on Mount Tabor, Most Worshipful Master.
Where is the situation of the Right Worshipful Senior Grand Warden?
In the west, Most Worshipful Grand Master.
Right Worshipful Senior Grand Warden, whom do you represent? Where is the situation of the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master? Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, whom do you represent?
Hiram Abiff, Prince of Architects.
What is your duty?
To lay schemes, to draw designs, and to assist the Most Worshipful Grand Master in the execution of the work.
Where is the situation of the Most Worshipful Grand Master?
In the east.
Who does he represent?
The Royal Solomon.
Then, brethren, in the name of the Royal Solomon And after the blessing of the chaplain, I will close this Grand Lodge in ample form. No, not yet.
All thanks and praise be to the great architect of the universe for thy gifts freely bestowed upon us. We ask that you pour your blessings upon our new Grand Master and all those who are assuming responsibilities in this Grand Lodge. May they be reminded of the high concepts of Freemasonry, and in doing so, may they be guided by your love and strength to be equal to the tasks that lie before and ahead of them. Be also with their families as they support these new officers. May we all be open to your guidance, and as we go our respective ways, we ask your blessing upon us and give you thanks for the principles of Freemasonry which bind us together in fellowship, brotherly love and service.
Brethren, in the name of the Royal Solomon, I declare this Grand Lodge closed in ample form. Thank you, David. Wonderful to see you here. Thank you.
Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, please be upstanding for the ode, all people that on earth do dwell. Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, during the retirement of the Most Worshipful Grand Master, the Right Worshipful Deputy Grand Master, the Right Worshipful Assistant Grand Master, the Most Worshipful Installing Grand Master, leaders of visiting delegations, Right Worshipful Brother Wardens and the Very Worshipful Brother Grand Chaplain retire, and the singing of the recessional ode, Now Thank We All Our God, you will remain upstanding. This is bugging me up. Sorry, fellas, but I was trying to just get leaders out. I'm going to... Ladies, gentlemen and brethren, you are now invited to enjoy yourselves in the front foyer where drinks may be purchased, of course, at your own cost. And I would remind you that those who are attending the banquet, you should be seated by 6:45 because the banquet will start at 7. I trust you've enjoyed this afternoon's ceremony. I certainly have. Thank you.
So I hope we can replicate that. If I have to borrow them, I'll fly you all over. Lovely.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very moving.
Thank you. Got beautiful voices.
Thanks so much.
For Australia home, that's what we all need to do, isn't it?
Exactly. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
All the best. I did read while we were doing studies and
Yep.
all the best for it.
Thank you so much.
one of you. One of you's at the conservatory.
That's me.
You are.
I just graduated.
Oh, you have just graduated.
I'm doing a Masters of Secondary Teaching now.
Well, they'll be very lucky students if you
Thank you.
implement your singing career.
Thank
Hope you come to the country.
Ooh, maybe. Could make a tour.
No, never knows.
Yeah.
Thank
you
so
so
much.
much.
Lovely. Very, very lovely. Now I've lost the husband. It is.
Thank you, Sarah.
Your play,
That was wonderful. Girls, that was lovely.
your play was absolutely brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
I told
you she had better ear for music
than I. It was lovely. I loved your choices of songs. And a lot of them were very emotional. I like the crows.
Yes. When Victoria came in.
We saved that.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you again as well.
Thank
that
you.
was
Thank you
wonderfully
very
done.
much. Thank you.
Good luck.